Ever walk by an aquarium and stop in your tracks because it looked more like a painting than a fish tank? That happened to me once at a local aquarium store. I just stood there staring at this tank that had this perfect composition rocks, placed with intention plants swaying like they were choreographed, and fish weaving through it all like they belonged on a gallery wall. That was the moment I realized an aquarium can be more than a hobby. It can be art, living art. Before I get started, let me make a quick pause here to invite you to join over 1,000 fish aficionados to our weekly cool and quick fish facts. Just go to aquariumsource.com/subscribe. I promise it won't smell fishy. Really, who teaches you about the honey gourami with a Brad Pitt gif? So today, I want to take you into the world of aquascaping. And not just how to make your tank look nice, but how to actually design it like a piece of art. Because once you understand layout, focal points, and balance, you're going to see your tank differently. And trust me, your fish will thank you too. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. Art? I just want my fish to be happy and my water to stay clean. And hey, that's a great goal. But here's the thing, creating a visually balanced tank with thoughtful design also makes it easier to maintain. Plants thrive where light reaches them. Fish feel safer when there are natural hiding spots, and the whole system stays healthier when everything has a purpose and a place. When I first started aquascaping, I did what most people do. I bought some rocks, some driftwood, and a few plants. I dropped them in the tank kind of wherever they fit, and called it a day. It looked fine. But it didn't have that wow factor. Then I learned about layout design, and it changed everything. There are a few main layout styles in aquascaping, and knowing them gives you a huge head start. You've got the Iwagumi style, which uses a few carefully chosen stones to create a minimalist zen feel. The Dutch style, which is all about lush plant growth and color contrast. And the nature style, which mimics natural landscapes like forests, valleys, or riverbanks. I found myself gravitating toward the nature style because it gave me room to be creative, but also kept me grounded in how nature actually works. So how do you pick a style? Start by sketching your vibe. Grab a pencil and paper or a free app like Sketchbook. Iwagumi's perfect for clean, open tanks with one hero rock as the focal point, but it's unforgiving if you mess up symmetry. Dutch is your jam for colorful plant palettes, but it needs trimming. Nature style's my go-to for eco-friendly balance. Mimicking a riverbed cuts maintenance by letting plants handle waste. Sketch your focal point first, like a gnarly driftwood or a bold stone, and build around it. Trust me, a quick sketch avoids a jumbled mess. The trick with all these styles is planning. And this is where sketches come in. Before I even touch the substrate, I grab a piece of paper or my iPad and sketch out a rough layout. I figure out where the focal point will be, where the eye should be drawn. I think about scale too. Big rocks up front or in the back. What direction should the flow of the tank go? Left to right? Diagonal? This early planning saves me a ton of time and frustration later. I like to imagine the tank in layers. Foreground, midground, background. That helps me place plants with different growth heights and textures so the layout feels deep and immersive. And here's a fun trick artists use called the rule of thirds, and it works wonders in aquascaping too. Instead of centering everything, I imagine the tank divided into a tic-tac-toe grid and place the most eye-catching feature where those lines intersect. It gives the layout a natural feel that's just satisfying to look at. And listen, sometimes my first plan doesn't work out. I'll get everything in the tank, stand back, and think, nope, that's not it. But because I had a plan to begin with, it's way easier to tweak than if I had just started throwing things in randomly. Now here's something I wish more people talked about in aquascaping. Negative space. Leaving empty areas in the tank, especially in the foreground or around a focal point, gives everything room to breathe. It adds contrast and makes the tank feel bigger, more intentional. When everything is crammed together, your eye doesn't know where to look. But a little space can work magic. Negative space isn't just artsy. It's a lazy aquarist's dream. My first tank was so packed, it looked like a plant hoarder's garage sale. Algae everywhere. Now, I sketch open spaces around focal points to keep it clean and balanced. Use a free tool like Canva to overlay your sketch on a tank photo for YouTube. It's a killer visual. Less clutter means less cleaning, saving you time and keeping it eco-friendly. One of my favorite moments in building a tank is adding the first bit of hardscape and then stepping back. Even with just one rock or branch, you can feel the beginning of something. That's where your sketch starts to come to life. And if you're documenting the process for a blog or YouTube, this is a great visual moment to share. It's the aquarium equivalent of an artist putting the first brush stroke on a blank canvas. As I start planting, I keep a few things in mind. Fast growers go in the back, slower ones up front. I use low-growing carpet plants to fill in empty ground and tall leafy ones in the back corners to frame the scene. And color contrast really helps. Bright greens next to darker plants or red accents in just the right spot can add that pop that brings the whole layout to life. Don't forget textures too. Mixing fine leaf plants with broad ones gives your scape dimension. And you'd be surprised how much movement adds life. Plants like Vallisneria or Limnophila that sway gently in the current make the tank feel dynamic, even when the fish are hiding. Speaking of fish, it's always fun to choose species that complement your scape. Tiny schooling fish like ember tetras or chili rasboras make great accents because they add movement without stealing the spotlight. Shrimp and snails help keep things clean and also bring the whole ecosystem vibe together. I love capturing the before and after stages of my aquascapes. Sometimes I even overlay my original sketches on top of the final tank photo, and wow, the difference is amazing. But the bones of the plan are still there. Sharing that process online not only helps others learn, but also documents your creative journey. And it's really satisfying to look back and see how far your design skills have come. Now let's talk maintenance for a sec. Because the most beautiful aquascape in the world still needs upkeep. I trim plants regularly to keep their shape and stop them from blocking light. I siphon out debris without disturbing the layout, and I always keep an eye out for algae trying to crash the party. A well-designed tank is easier to maintain because you know where everything goes and why it's there. There's something incredibly peaceful about sitting in front of a tank you built from a sketch, watching fish weave through the plants, seeing the layout evolve over time. It's like living inside your own artwork, and that feeling is something I wish every aquarist could experience. So if you've ever felt stuck with your tank design or just wanted to take things to the next level, try looking at your aquarium like an artist would. Sketch it first, think about composition use, contrast, and space, and don't be afraid to change things up, because when you treat your tank like a canvas, it stops being just a container of water and becomes something that tells a story. And hey, if you give this a try, I'd love to see what you create. Drop a comment with your experience or tag me if you share your aquascape online. Let's turn our fish tanks into living art galleries, one sketch at a time. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this dive, comment Aquascaping and be sure to like and subscribe. I've got more creative aquarium adventures coming soon, and I can't wait to share them with you.